podcast. My name's DK Diamantes. My co-host is Bricky. He has all the crazy, ridiculous Warhammer stuff, and he's going to tell us about it in a second. But before he does, if you enjoy today's podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, where you can support us. I think I already said that. Whatever. This is going off the rails. Haven't had much sleep. Doesn't matter. If you like us, go to the Patreon. You can get stuff like access to the Discord, bloopers if they happen. We have that really great new HD poster that's like themed after Catherine. It's got the Slaneshi demon on the guard and the boobs. Really classy stuff. Anyway, patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous. Wonderful. Bricky, merch and book club.
Yes, book club. We are reading Krieg. Classic old Krieg. Just released by a person whose name eludes me. Shai will tell me right now. And also, if you'd like to get some merch, you can go to orchid8.com and get out some merchandise. We got shirts, hoodies, stickers. There are still some dice left. There's plenty around to go around.
Oh,
and
hey,
you
look
should,
at that.
yeah, you should hop on, grab some. We have new stickers, and it's good stuff. So
Yeah, it's great
orchid8.com. Check out the description. Shai has still not told me the author of the Krieg book.
Wow, way to go, Shai.
She is so slow. I'm Krieg.
Have you started it yet?
I have not.
Oh.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Once you get into it, there's maybe a familiar face or two.
Ooh, Steve Lyons. His name is Steve Lyons.
Steve Lyons, good for him.
Steve Lyons. Really? A familiar face or two?
Yes, sir.
I am hyped. I love a good guardsman book.
I am biting my tongue, not telling you who's in it and what it's about.
Okay, I'll get into it.
I really want to. I'm not that far in. I'm like maybe 2 hours in at the most, but yeah.
All right. I'll get working on it.
Yeah.
DK, you know when you pull an all-nighter or something, and if you feel like you have a lot of energy, but by the time it's about 2 p.m., you just kind of like die?
All-nighter, not sleeping? I have no idea what you're talking about. Please, tell me more about this sensation.
You want to tell our audience the reason why you didn't sleep, DK?
Well, I've been on a wonky sleep schedule. Like a couple nights ago, I just couldn't sleep, so I was like, who cares? I'll just play Elden Ring all night. And so now I'm on a really bad sleep schedule because Elden Ring has consumed my soul.
That was a whole lot of bullshit for you just to say the words Elden Ring. The reason is Elden Ring.
It's part of it. It's not the main reason, but it's a factor.
You're deflecting. You're parrying me right now.
It's called copium.
Huff it,
Ricky.
DK.
Puffing it like gamer girl anime feet.
What the fuck? No maidens?
No maidens. L plus den plus ring plus no maidens plus touch grace.
Okay. L plus den is actually pretty good. I never heard that one yet.
Thank you.
I'm sure the rest of our fan base has been consumed by Elden Ring mostly.
I hope
except
so. It's an
for
amazing game.
Except for the guard players, their vision is gone. They can't play hard games anymore.
The arthritis in their hands is just like, I can't hold the controller.
They're too busy smoking meats and learning about World War II history.
Damn.
We've been on the smoking meats topic for a bit. Anywho, Elden Ring aside,
Yeah.
you ready for your quote, DK?
I mean, no, but yes.
Okay.
It's Slanesh.
You fucking got it. You did. He did it.
That'd be great if it actually was.
We just did Slanesh.
I know, but I just want more. I want more anime monster boobs. Well, you can't blame me.
I thought you wanted more demonic Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Ooh, that too. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Quote me.
United, our will is greater than any other force. We shall inherit the stars, even if we must first cleanse them in blood. You're never gonna get this one. There's no way you're gonna get this one.
Oh boy. I mean, that could be guard shit.
This could be any faction in 40K.
Yeah, like I was thinking that could be guard shit because, like, United the guard are really strong. and they could totally unite the stars and bathe them in blood. Though I mean, it could also be Eldar. It could be any number of Astartes.
There's a particular word in this entire quote that doesn't match with the MO of most other races.
Oh, maybe unification, because everybody just wants to destroy everything, and nobody's really worried about unification. I don't know.
You're on the right track. Come on, DK, you're doing well.
It's the Tau.
Let's go!
Yes, let's go! Is it actually the Tau?
It's the Farsight Enclaves today, actually.
I will be 100%. After I said Tau and you were like, "Oh my god," I was gonna ask if it was Farsight, because the regular Tau are just brainwashing, and I would imagine Farsight are the only one that care about unification and good tidings. Also, let's go Farsight!
Yeah, well, we're not going to be talking much on, like, Farsight, because that man has... They basically decided, okay, of all the character lore we're going to have for the Tau, we're going to put it all in him. So, we'll talk about him a bit, but he could take, like, 3 fucking episodes, if I'm being totally honest. There's so much on this man.
Oh, I'm so hyped, dude. I'm ready. Farsight Enclave. That's like the Tau faction I like the most. And I don't know anything about their lore. I love the 8. Love the 8. So, love the 8.
Immediately just cuts off.
Anime bobas. And abs. Yeah.
No, fucking hell. Fish. They're fish people.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. All right. No maidens.
No maidens, just fish abs. Oh, this is... Oh, no. Oh, no.
What the... Wait, what the hell? I was scrolling through Farsight's wiki page to see if I could get some better quotes for the one I just did. And I see a quote and it says, "I've seen things you wouldn't believe." And I'm like, that's Blade Runner. What?
Wow.
That's entire worlds in flames. Chains of supernovas on the edge of nothingness. The great hole in space. I am changed, an outcast now. That is literally the Blade Runner.
Damn.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire. That's literally okay.
Forgot.
Games
like
Workshop.
In the rain.
Games Workshop. My guy.
They gotta take it from somewhere, right?
Mr. Workshop. Jimmy Games.
Fun fact: the "Tears in the Rain" quote that is so notable was completely ad-libbed by oh shit, what was his name? Like Horace Kruger, something like that.
The guy, yeah.
Yeah. He completely ad-libbed that part.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
did you know,
that wasn't in the script.
Did you know the story of Matt Damon and his brothers in Saving Private Ryan was also ad-libbed?
I've actually never seen Saving Private Ryan.
It's very good, but that's a hard watch.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tau, Farsight Enclaves.
Farsight Enclaves. Let's go. So we're gonna be talking a little bit more about, like, when I say the Farsight Enclaves, I'm referring to, like, the group, the Enclaves themselves. We'll touch a little bit on Farsight, but honestly, he deserves his own little section in his own right. So the Farsight Enclaves is actually, you need to take it very literally. It is a Tau empire. It is the Enclaves. It is an area of space. And that generally is how the Tau septs operate. So, like, Sisters have orders, Guard have regiments, the Tau have septs.
Okay.
Septs are, if I am not mistaken, actually referring to a area of space. You know, it is a section.
Okay.
So if you are there's the Tau Sept, where you come from the major Tau area, but then there's also things like Vior'la. And Vior'la is an area of space that you can come from. Or Shas'O is one of them as well. There's also Dahlia, I believe. And then Borkon, a couple others.
Borkon, these nuts. Anyway, go ahead. I said go ahead, man. Like, what happens after the
DK,
Yeah.
I was in the supermarket a few days ago, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was, you know how they have those things where you need to like weigh like a bunch of nuts in a bag or something, like the big shovels?
Yeah.
And there was a symbol on there, and it was an acronym. It said LBS. Do you know what that stands for?
Yes, I do.
What does it stand for, DK?
It's oh no. Stands for pounds.
Yeah, pound this dick down your throat, you fucking morons.
I couldn't help it, Borkon. Like,
What do you mean bork on these nuts? What are you borking on? What the fuck are you, a dog?
what are you you're borking on these? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my
Go
god.
ahead. I mean, this day and age, I couldn't pass that up. I could not pass it up.
It doesn't even work.
Doesn't matter.
No maidens. Anyway, the Farsight Enclaves is a section of space. It is also known as the Forbidden Zone by the Tau Empire itself, as they are obviously separatists.
Yeah.
There is a bunch of heavily fortified Tau colony worlds that are completely independent and in direct opposition of the Tau Empire, and more importantly, the Ethereals. If you play a Farsight Enclaves in game, I don't think you can even run an Ethereal. Like,
Yeah.
you are locked out.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this was helped founded by Commander Farsight himself, also known as the hero of Vior'la, the protege of Puretide, the bane of Greenskins, and even the renounced traitor of the greater good. Many names.
Many names. He wears many hats.
Yes, and the name Farsight is actually not his real name. It's a nickname.
Oh.
It comes from his ability to anticipate and exploit the actions of enemies, like as if he already knew their battle plan, as if he could see the future, as if he had Farsight.
Oh, okay.
So that's where his name Commander Farsight
In reality,
came.
he just has a pair of binoculars.
Man, imagine Commander Farsight had all this training and got a pair of binoculars.
Became a Farsight in 2 seconds.
His actual name is, he is ruled by, the Farsight Enclaves are ruled by the Fire Caste member Shas'O, Vior'la, Shovah, Caste, Mont'yr.
Oh boy, Farsight way easier to say.
Or better known as Commander Farsight. And I probably said that horribly, but Shas'O, Vior'la, Shovah, Caste, Mont'yr, which is actually is actually cut up and has its own individual like statements in it. So Shas, S-H-A-S, means a member of the Fire Caste.
Okay.
So Shas'O is like a Tau commander, which is the highest rank attainable. So a lot of times when you have like certain people, like there's one of the members of the 8 whose name is Shas'Vir Ovessa. Ovessa, ranking member.
Sure.
Then you've also got Vior'la, which is the sept where Farsight was born. Remember that the Farsight Enclaves is something that he created, so he was in a prior sept before that. So he was part of Vior'la. Shovah means far-sighted, so that's the core concept of his name.
Okay, gotcha.
Caste means skillful, and Mont'yr means bloodied, or blooded. Like, I guess blooded could be referred to as like veteran, though I don't have any source. I don't have a source to back that up, so I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Damn. So their names are like are almost like their history and what they're good at, like where they come from, what they're good at, and not necessarily so much as just like, oh, this I did, this my name's DK. What does DK stand for? D's Canuts. I don't know.
Dude.
But but like their names seem like really important. Like it's not just a passing thing. It's literally where you come from, what you've done, what you're good at, and like what rank you are. So like it's not like just this sort of trivial thing that, whatever. That's actually kind of curious.
Cool. I'm kind of curious though if any of those parts of his name were actually just his name. Like could his actual name be Caste Mont'yr, Because it means skillful and blooded. Maybe just his name is Caste. Who knows?
Yeah,
but obviously because Shas is a member of the Fire Caste and O is Tau Commander, so Shas'O, he wasn't born like that. He could be, far-sighted as the Shovah part. He could just be Vior'la Shovah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't read his book. Maybe they tell us there, but
Maybe.
Regardless, that's of course now he's just referred to as Commander Farsight because that's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier to say, yeah. But you lose some of the really cool aspects of the Tau name.
That's true. I do like their nomenclature. No, the way they say their names.
Yeah.
So if we back up a little bit, the first ever major meeting, I suppose, I use that in quotes, was known as the Damocles Gulf Crusade. Now, if we know anything about the Twice Dead King, a crusade is quite frightening.
Oh, yeah.
And the Damocles Gulf Crusade was the first major military conflict with the Tau.
Okay.
I don't know if it's necessarily the first time they met them, but it was the first time they had any major like this is the big initial. Think of the first tyrannic war with the Ultramarines and the Tyranids.
Yeah.
This is the first big one.
Okay.
So large amounts of far-reaching imperial worlds, think Caiaphas Cain book, began trading with the Tau Empire, just very far out backwater worlds, right? Where the Imperium doesn't really come around a lot, and you could have generations upon generations of people changing.
Yeah.
They would end up trading with the Tau, and the Imperium arrived to put a stop to it.
Just like in the Caiaphas Cain book, like you said.
Except this time, a massive war broke out. In an enormous war involving tons of guard, even space marines, just every huge fight, giant crusade. This ended up actually coming to a standstill. Now, the Imperials lost billions. The Tau lost billions. It was a horribly bloody.
God, that is a big loss of life. Holy
I think
shit.
the Tau lost more, actually by quite a decent margin. But I think that may have been the volume of Space Marines, but I could be wrong. Okay. But then again, Tau getting their ass kicked is a common theme in GW lore, so it's like the Night Lords.
Yeah, that's their lore, is just losing, unfortunately. It seems
Hell yeah.
Trying to be good and then losing and then being brainwashed.
So after the war broke out, they eventually came to a standstill at the Tau Sept world of Daliath Prime. So you remember Daliath is a Tau Sept, and I'm assuming Daliath Prime is their first, planet.
Yeah.
And eventually a peace was brokered, ironically, as the Imperials were not gaining any ground, and the Tyranid Hive Fleet behemoth was bearing down on them in other worlds.
So they needed to put their resources elsewhere. Man, this is very similar to the Caiaphas Cain book, kind of.
It really is. I wonder how much of that was helped form, because the Cain book came out a while ago. I wonder how much that helped form the Tau as a culture.
Yeah, that is because that's exactly why.
Oh yeah, there were Gene Stealer cults in there.
Yeah, that is exactly why the Imperium really didn't want to start a war with the Tau on that planet, because they just couldn't afford the resources there. They couldn't afford to get into a bloody war with the Tau because the Tyranids were making a big fuss all over the place, and they were like, no, we can't get into a war with the Tau. We need our resources elsewhere. And it's like, familiar.
Very familiar. And very, very Tau. Tau probably were like, we come in peace. And then the Imperium were like, they come in peace, break their legs.
Kill them.
Very Simpsons.
Yep.
Anyway, so with that, of course, the Imperials begrudgingly brokered a peace as the Tyranid Hive Fleet was about to eat their ass. Yeah. In the aftermath of the Crusade, a particular fire caste commander, Farsight, led an expeditionary force which broke away from the Empire to set up colonies on the far side of the Damocles Gulf. Damocles Gulf Crusade.
Farsight. I like it.
That's not okay.
That's not okay.
That has nothing to do with it, but okay.
I like it anyway. It's got a nice ring to it. Farsight went to the far side. I like it.
Oh my. So anyway, the Ethereals, of course, as he broke away to form his own group, which his motivations for doing so are probably more outlined in both one, his book, and two, his lore, which we will not cover too much today. But so Shai hits me with a paragraph here. She says, "I read why Farsight pieced out. He met demons and was like, 'What the fuck is that?' And when Ethereals said, don't worry about it. It's just new aliens,' he was like, 'Bullshit. You guys have been lying to us the whole time, possibly about everything, so I'm out of here.'"
Whoa, the Ethereals have demons?
No. He met demons.
Oh.
And the Ethereals were like, it's just aliens. Don't worry about it. He's like, horse shit, I guess. Okay.
So Farsight actually, like, went to a planet, he saw demons, and he was like, whoa, hey, Ethereal, what the fuck is that? And they're like, don't worry about it, it's nothing. Gotcha.
This is very Magnus the Red sounding.
When I first read that from Shai, I thought it was literally like the Ethereals were like communioning with demons. I was like, whoa, when did Tau become chaos? What the fuck? But yeah, okay, that makes more sense now. If he just stumbled upon a demon somewhere and was like, hey, found a little weird thing out here, guys.
I guess that makes sense. It's like if you were in a relationship and someone like lied to you about something and you'd be like, well, they lied about this one thing. What else could they lying about? What else could they be lying about? Yeah.
What other skeletons are in the closet?
Yeah, and the Ethereals are lying about demons.
Yeah, which is a big deal.
Speaking of other things that could wipe out Tau, demons.
Oh yeah, chaos. Just chaos in general. Yeah, chaos, demons.
They're too busy fucking each other up, though. They couldn't give a shit.
That's true. Well, Chaos Undivided might consider it, right? You know, Abaddon and all that, right?
Nah, Abaddon doesn't give a shit. He just wants to hurt the Imperium.
That's fair.
The Tau are just annoying people. They're just annoying, an annoying roadblock.
Imagine thinking a group like the Tau is just like, roadblock.
It's like, why are you here? I want to bleed the Emperor. Fuck you.
Get out of my sight.
Fair enough. The Ethereals attempted to rewrite history, however, and paint Farsight as a cowardly deserter, or just avoid his mention entirely, snuff him from all history.
Right.
The Ethereals forbid all travel to that area, and anyone who argues against that is generally never seen again.
That sounds like a very Imperium way to go about it.
They're in the walls.
And so, Ethereals kind of, sort of brainwash the populace of Tau? Yes?
They have like suggestive pheromone type things, which I think brainwash them, and they remind me a lot of the prophets from Halo. Now, granted, I think it's the Imperium says that they do this, so I'm not fully sure. And people like Farsight, it's hard to tell because that's like what Imperium like Magos biologists say. AdMech biology masters, and AdMech are a little crazy.
A little bit, just a little, just a smidge.
So it's a little difficult to truly be 100% sure, but the Ethereals do seem like they remind me a lot like of the prophets from Halo, where they seem like they are the overall ruling class, and they kind of proliferate lies and
right.
They're very manipulative.
Yeah, where they're not necessarily brainwashing, but everybody's just come to believe everything that they say because they're like the higher ups and they're the leaders. So you're not necessarily under their mind control, but you have no reason to doubt what they say either.
Yeah, I go with that. And anyone who goes against them, well, they aren't branded a heretic. That's much more of an Imperium thing. But you are going against the status quo. And that does create problems. And to think about it, the Ethereals are the Tau have reason to be frightened. Most to all other races can cause them some real hurt. If the Tyranids decide to really focus on them, fuck.
Well, if any of the factions decided to focus on the Tau, they'd be fucked, right? Like, if the Imperium focuses on anyone, you're done. It doesn't matter who you are, but, I mean, that's
maybe not
a lot
anybody.
of resources. They'd have to almost bleed themselves dry and leave themselves open to an attack from anybody else, but, I mean, they could. The Orcs will fuck anybody up. The Eldar would So
I don't think the Eldar, the Dark Eldar, would have a chance.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think they're too small. The Dark Eldar, remember, are almost entirely in
that's-
Kamara,
That's true. Yeah.
and the Craft World Eldar are having difficulties of their own.
Fair.
Very small, but like orcs. You think about the 3 horde armies in the game, right? Orcs, Nids, and the Imperium of Man.
Yeah.
And
They
they
could fuck
would probably,
anybody up.
yeah, they'd fuck anyone up to an extent, of course. The Tyranids and the orcs probably the most part, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean the Tau wouldn't put up a
Put up
fucking
a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, moving on to the Enclave stuff. The Enclave, of course, is actually the area of space now is surrounded by a bunch of floating fortresses. These giant, like, orbital platforms, which creates a pretty formidable barricade against all invaders and Tau incursions. The colonies, or the Tau have sent drones and scanner drones into this area multiple times to try to spy on the Enclaves, and most often don't get anything back. But sometimes one makes it through. And the colonies scanned are very interesting. They're heavily built up worlds, giant populations in the Enclaves, and entire moon bases dedicated to like manufacturing. The Enclaves originally bore symbols of other septs, mainly Vior'la. Vior'la's a pretty large portion of the Enclaves, but there's also Shas'O, the Tau one, and more. Now they have created their own symbol as a unified banner, of course, unsanctioned by the Ethereal High Council.
No kidding.
Yeah. However, as a distant colony, their war gear is a bit dated. They've got some like older kind of stuff because they don't get their stuff as easily. However, a lot of fancy-pantsy Tau ethereal level prototypes have been seen there, classified ones.
Ooh.
So they might have some peeps in your midst.
Okay. They've got some double agents working in the Tau Empire.
They probably got plenty.
Okay. So, how many people, sort of, I don't want to say went heretical, but how many people went with Farsight? Like, when he was like, yo, these Ethereals are lying their balls off, like, how many people were like, oh yeah, I'll totally forsake these guys that I've trusted my whole life on the say-so of this one really good commander? Like, how often do people turn and go to Farsight?
A reminder that Farsight is basically like a war hero. He is a god-tiered commander, and so everyone kind of loved him to begin with. And then when he leaves, it's like if you're, I don't know, it's like if Marnius Calgar bailed.
But still, like, if your Ethereals are like, yeah, he might be a war hero, but he's a traitor, don't trust him. Like, who do you trust in that situation, right? Because you're conflicted. You've got the Ethereal that you've always trusted and always been conditioned to trust, otherwise death, and you've got your war god who's saying that the guy that you've always believed in is a fucking liar, and you should like, that's such a conflict. Like how does a Tau deal with that?
Imagine you're like an Ultramarine, a Blueberry, and you've got Marnius Calgar, and then you've got the head of the Ecclesiarch Decius or something. You've been following Decius your entire time, the head of the church and the head of all this stuff, and then Calgar is the one who says, we gotta fuck the church, we gotta go. You generally probably would have a little bit more comfort in the battle brother, the guy you fought with, instead of like the hocus pocus pointy hat ethereal on a disc floating around doing things like that. That being said, I don't know how big the Farsight Enclaves are. I know I have actually a collection of their planets, which we'll talk about in a moment. It's kind of cool. There's 5 of them. Okay. But I'm assuming, however many people can fit in 5 planets. Like, it's billions. It's not trillions. It's billions. But, you also think of 40K scale.
That's true.
Like,
5
it's going to be a lot.
Compared to the Imperium. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess soldiers would be way more willing to go with Farsight regardless of what the Ethereal said, because like you said, if you're a soldier that's fought alongside Farsight and he saved your life countless times by being a great commander, of course you're going to put your trust in him. And
Brother in arm over anything, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you know, the Imperium literally has 1,000,000 planets.
Yeah, and you've got
5.
Not exactly the biggest threat on their radar.
No. But, you know, actually, in talk of these planets, let's discuss them. But let's also discuss the caste system first. Let me try to remind you about these.
Oh, okay.
There's the 4 castes: Earth, Water, Air, and Fire. And they wielded all these elements. And some bald fucking kid with an arrow on his head decided to kill everybody.
Everything was going well until the Fire Nation attacked.
I mean, the Fire Nation is the military caste of the Empire, so yeah, I'd say so.
Shocking development. All right, cool.
The Fire caste are, they're the military caste. They tend to be a little bit taller, a little more muscular. The people themselves, they're professional soldiers. They're in training regime right after birth. They're thrown right in there. They are disciplined, hard work. You know, that camaraderie. They're the classic warriors. You know,
damn, right at birth, huh?
Well, hyperbole, but you get the point. Very early on.
What is it? Just like if you're born to someone from the Fire caste, you're just like, yeah, you're going to be a soldier. Like you have no say in the matter.
I think so. I mean, maybe you could pop your way out of it, but it really depends. I'm not sure how they handle people who don't want to be part of their caste. It's hard to go against tradition to such an extent, and also against the entire caste, and to the point, if they're more muscular, possibly even genetics of this caste.
Oh, that's true, because that's right. You said they're taller, a little more muscular, yeah. So genetics would have them be a soldier. Fair enough.
After that, you have the air caste. The air caste normally are messengers, but they're also the pilots and starship crews. So when you think of air, you literally do think of air. Pilots, crews of ships, but also they are communications. You know, they're a little smaller, apparently, but also because of their constant exposure to zero and low gravity environments. So they're a little bit taller. Their limbs are a little slender. Their bones are a little more hollow. Gotcha. But they tend to be much more operative in they're sometimes called the invisible caste because they operate outside the borders of the Empire. They're maybe a little bit of trade, you know, a little bit of the messaging, you know, pilots, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so they're kind of sort of like an Air Force.
Yes.
But also with a lot of messenger stuff too.
Right, and they often help move around the water caste. The water caste are merchants, diplomats, and administrators. They are entirely the annoying politics group.
Huh. I wonder why they're the water caste. Like, because the other two make sense, because fire is, you know, very typical symbol of war, combat. Air is, you know, they're in the air, they're flying, they're talking, requires air, communication. Why are merchants water?
I am going to assume that it is about the concept of, since they are bureaucrats, negotiators, politicians, merchants, diplomats, is all entirely dedicated to the smooth flow and function of the empire.
Oh, I like that. Good. Did you just make that up?
I just made that up. I'm making an assumption.
I like that. That's kind of deep. I like it. I think we should go with that. That's a fair guess. I like it.
You know what else is deep?
These nuts.
I was gonna say water.
Oh, I thought you were gonna try and get me back for doing that this whole episode. Oh no,
I had nothing.
I played myself.
You've only played me.
Oh well, that's fine.
Oh my god. Okay. Last but not least, there is the Earth caste. And the Earth caste is farmers, laborers, technicians, mechanics, industry. Also lots of artisans and scientists, engineers. That entire idea. They are constantly building.
People of the soil, people of
soil, exactly. Yeah. People who create and craft and repair the Earth caste. So
I like that. I like that caste system because everybody's caste makes sense as to what they specialize in.
And it's kind of cool because all 5 of the worlds are, well, 4 of the 5 are related to a caste. And this is honestly like I'm actually shocked the amount of effort and detail put into it. This is the interesting thing, right? Like the Imperium has 1,000,000 worlds, so there's a chance for 1,000,000 stories. That's how the Farsight have 5 worlds. Therefore, there's a chance for a very like well-crafted, in specific story.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the main one is known as Vior'la, and Vior'la is the capital of the Enclave, and it's the home of Farsight himself and the majority of his forces. It is covered in lots of water, tons of underwater sea life, but there's lots of land masses, but they're rimmed by volcanic chains and tons of geothermic and volcanic energy. So I think of it a little bit like the Pacific.
Okay.
You know, lots of volcanoes, but like islands and land masses, but they're lots of blue water, and all this volcanic, activity makes tons of geothermic energy and power.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And
I don't know why, but that suddenly reminded me. There's I wonder how that that new island is forming in Hawaii. There's an island that I think they call it Lahaina. No, they have a name for it, but it's supposed to pop up. It start popping up in like 1,000 years or something. So probably hasn't made too much progress since I was last there.
Since you were last there, you said
yeah, in like 2000.
It's so silly.
Been a while.
But it makes sense. It's okay. I just the concept that a new island is being formed is like, I'm sure it's common, but just the fact that it's happening is
it's happening as we speak. There is a new Hawaiian island being formed underwater.
Weren't the Chinese government trying to like make man-made islands or something?
Probably.
Way back when?
Probably.
Weird stuff.
That sounds like something that would happen. Sounds like something America would do too.
This is why they have no maidens. Anyway, obviously this is the home of the Fire Caste, and there are a ton of natural resources, but also a huge amount of training grounds on this planet, because it is the home of the major military functions, the home of Farsight, all of his forces, etc. The next planet is Tinekla, whatever. It is very weird. It is a planet-sized crystal polygon.
Oh.
It is an enormous, like, diamond.
I like
this
it.
enormous crystal, and the air caste live here, floating around it in habitation pods and orbital stations, orbiting a gigantic crystal.
Whoa.
This giant mineral crystal is so close to true transparency that they actually, like, originally it wasn't, and they cut it down to try to make it as transparent as they can to represent the beliefs of the air caste. The orbital stations look like the same crystal, so it's like little baby crystal stations orbiting it around to show the power of its air caste and the overall strength of the enclaves in like its form and function.
Wow.
It is a giant translucent crystal surrounded by stations and hab pods orbiting it that look like crystals.
That sounds really cool, actually.
It is really bizarre, but it's super dope.
I wish there was like an artist rendition of it, because that sounds so strange for like your home planet. It's like it's your home planet, but not really, because you're just hovering around outside of it in other little crystals and hab pods, and that sounds like some serious, like that sounds like a really good setting for some sort of like sci-fi movie or book.
Ooh, I actually found an image of it. It's like a diamond. It's more of like a dodecahedron.
Ah, okay.
And it's it's like this kind of turquoise looking crystal surround. So all the stations are more like dodecahedron style. It looks like a D20 almost.
Yeah, and look, that's so cool. I love that.
It's
an engram.
Oh my god, it's a Destiny engram.
Open it.
Oh no,
What's
it's a blue. It's a blue.
Oh, it's actually a green. Oh no.
Trash.
Oh god, D1 syndrome. Oh, did you think you got a legendary? Sorry, it's a green.
Absolute trash.
Garbage day.
The next one is the Guavesario.
Hey, Guavessa!
It is home to the main human population.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep, who broke off and decided to join the Tau Empire.
Yeah.
Is a human planet. It's got Tau on there and stuff, of course, but it is the home of the main human population. And I mean, yeah, there are plenty of humans that saw the Tau as better, and they broke off and went to the Tau, and they have a planet there.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say it was only humans. I was like, wow, very trusting, Tau. Holy shit, very trusting and tolerant. You don't usually see that kind of tolerance in 40K. But, damn.
Well, even if they were, I mean, let's not forget the Tau probably have, like, 1 million satellites, and, like, they could probably see anything and everything, because they're super advanced.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, what are they fucking gonna do? Like, what is the Space Marine gonna come help them?
Wow, that's true. I mean, they're really into the Tau too, so it's like they have no reason not to trust them.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Tau probably seemed like an absolute like picnic after dealing with the fucking Imperium for so long.
The next one is the Salache or Salache. This is a weird one. It is a collection of giant viscous gloves of liquid.
Wait. Did you say a collection of viscous gloves?
Yeah. If you look on this picture on the right-hand side, it is an oceanic cloud. It is like water in zero gravity, but to an immense scale.
Whoa. That is so weird.
They're each the size of a small moon, and they orbit a nearby sun as like a group. And naturally, the water caste live there.
No shit.
Yeah. I just had to make it clear. I had to make it clear. Fuck you, D's nuts.
It looks really cool though. It's literally like a collection of just like bubbles that are just kind of floating around as a collection. And that's such a weird, odd, very cool idea for a planet though. Like a water planet that's just like a collection of gigantic bubbles.
And
that's dope.
And obviously the water caste, they spend a lot of time there to like meditate on like the fluid nature of the cloud and the fluid nature of life, and apparently they don't shut the fuck up about it. Apparently somewhere in the book, if you ever visit there or someone from there, it's like being a vegan or CrossFit, they'll immediately tell you about it, like instantly.
Yikes.
It's like yeah, we live on Salache and the beauty of the water and the belief. And it's like, oh my god. And don't forget, these are all like diplomats and politicians.
I was gonna say, you can't get a politician to ever shut up anyway, right? And it's merchants that always want to sell you on shit and always want to talk your ear off anyway. So yeah, that fits. That fits.
I went to the Salache because I wanted to save them, but they saved me.
I hate it.
They're white women in Africa.
Oh god. Very cool looking planet though. That is
super dupe.
They have really, really cool planets. Holy shit.
The last one is Louvre-Graal. And this is obviously home to the Earth class because it's the only one we're missing.
Yep.
And it is a bunch of drab earthen spires.
Oh, spires. Okay.
And well, not like the whole thing is in spires or anything, but it's like it's kind of, it looks like a hexagon.
So what you're saying is it's inspired?
Oh my god. It's a terrestrial, it's a terrestrial arid world, all right?
Okay.
However, it's covered in drab earthen spires, and it is the interior of the planet is woven with miles and miles of white and silver tunnels laced with technology, like fucking Elon Musk's Boring Company, but like working. You know?
But like working?
Yeah,
that's
like
something Elon Musk could never quite figure out, is the working part.
As a man who owns a Tesla, the car is very good and it is all the rage. But the concept of making a tunnel without the ability for emergency services like ambulances and one lane and nowhere to go is not that smart.
Nope, that's what we call in the business a death trap.
That is what we like to call in the business not based.
No, it is very cringe.
Oh, that's an interesting argument, DK. How about you back it up with a source?
Sources, fuck you.
Oh, you didn't get it right. It's the Senator Armstrong thing where he's like, my source is I made it the fuck up.
Oh, that's right. You showed me that meme and everything, and I
no
forgot it.
maidens.
Oh God, I need to touch Grace.
The fact that it's actually touch grace is so funny to me.
Right.
Considering how recent the touch grass meme is, they didn't do that on purpose. It's just happenstance. It's so good.
Yep.
Anywho, the interior woven that way, but obviously the Earth Caste is in there, and they never stop building. They never stop creation. Those areas covered in mag trains, vaults, research centers, observatories, everything. They do not stop. It is pure industrial complex. Sometimes scientific industrial complex, sometimes military industrial complex. Sometimes habitual. Like sometimes it's like they will not stop creating stuff. In fact, it's actually a little frightening. I worry that they're going to be like the think tank in Fallout New Vegas with all the lobotomite guys, the brain dudes.
Oh yeah.
And they're just going to keep on building, and it's going to keep on going and going and going. And did you know that the Fallout New Vegas, those dudes with the screens and the brain, did you know they made the Cazadors?
What are the Cazadors again?
The horrifying orange-winged wasps.
Oh, they made those?
Yeah, they just fucked around and spliced some tarantula hawk DNA with like other stuff.
Oh,
because they felt like it.
Oh, because they just didn't stop. They just kept making new stuff, and they just okay.
They also made Night Stalkers, the rattlesnake like coyotes.
Oh God, those are I remember those. Those are no fun.
They're not good people. That's like the big kind of ending with that one.
I guess the Earth Caste kind of could become that if they just never stop creating and they're always making something and they're always building something. It could eventually get to that point. Like if they just, if nothing, exterminatus is their planet.
I'm assuming they could over-industrialize. You never really know, but I'm hoping that their overall government and concepts will keep them from doing so. And because as you can see on the planet, there are enormous hexagons cut through it, and that is the Earth Caste's doing.
Damn, those are massive too. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
Yeah.
So those are the main planets of the Farsight Enclaves, all very much the epitome of the various castes. Mm-hmm. You want me to tell you about the 8?
Oh, I would love to hear about the 8.
Wonderful.
That's what made me like the Farsight Enclave in the first place.
Let's talk about the 8.
Torchstar.
That is the one that has the least lore.
Abs.
Okay. Of course, the leader of the 8 is Commander Farsight himself. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go over that one.
Yep, because we'll probably do an episode on him. Yep.
The next one is Honor Shas'Vir Ovessa.
Ooh.
And Ovessa is not a Shas'Vir at all, which I don't know what Shas'Vir means. I know Shas means fire cast. I don't know what the VRE means. But they're actually an old Earth Caste colleague of Farsight.
Oh.
Kept alive by Micro Jones. Micro Jonestown. I love lean. Micro drones of his own invention. And given that Commander Farsight is a diehard fire cast person, and it doesn't really like the other casts a whole lot, then it speaks a lot to like their bond.
Damn.
Ovessa is the great honor of piloting the battle suit as an Earth cast, which is very rare. But they pilot the biggest one, the XV-104 Riptide.
Ooh, the big boy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Lots of AI has been invented to integrate into the Riptide to make it really strong. And along with his technological genius, it's it compensates for his lack of a lifetime of training through all of his use of AI.
Right. Okay.
Next up is Commander Bravestorm. This is kind of like a dreadnought. They were entombed in a life support system after critical injuries, and since then, they were actually confined into their battle suit using a core support cocoon into an XV8 Crisis Iridium mantle. It's a crisis suit.
Okay.
Bravestorm, despite this all, has not lost their love for, the greater good and still fights, despite the fact that they're basically a dreadnought.
All right. Cool. Tau Dreadnoughts. Apparently they got them. Yeah, cool.
Next up is Commander Brightsword.
All right.
Commander Brightsword, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the weird one, or maybe somebody else.
He better have some energy swords, I swear to God.
Yes. They have a pair of fusion blasters. And if I'm unmistaken, fusion blasters are they're short range like melta weapons.
Oh.
Which I think can be changed to fusion blades, which are like the armored core swords.
Okay.
So I think they are that way. He is a lead from the front kind of guy. Rapid insertion into battle, and then finds the most powerful target, annihilates them first, and tries to get out. Very aggressive.
Kind of a melee unit, if you will.
Yeah, we'll go. Well, not really a melee
unit.
Sort
of hit and run.
Close
melee
range.
Unit. Okay, gotcha.
I would assume that with that, they are in, if I know anything about Tau, he is in a Cold Star commander suit, which is one of my favorites of them all. I'm going to assume that. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But I'm going to assume. Next up, you have Commander Shavastos, which is the first Tau to be fitted with a Puretide Engram Nero chip, which is a fancy-pantsy chip to make them super smart.
Okay.
However, this prototype chip, known as the Sword of Puretide, was not working properly and was only saved from their subsequent lobotomization after the Farsight sealed them away in a stasis chamber until he could find a cure. And a couple decades later, he was able to find the way to recalibrate the chip and reawaken the old warrior so they may continue to fight and live.
Oh, okay. So the chip works well now. It's
Yes.
not, making him go crazy or anything. Okay, cool.
Took a couple decades to get it done. But the fact that they're always able, they're kind of like Farsight, where they're always able to know what the enemy is doing before them,
Gotcha.
is kind of the part of the whole deal.
Nice.
The next one is Shas'O Oblatai 9-0. This is a little bit of a weird one. They are in a broadside battle suit, which is one of my more favorite ones.
All right.
And Oblatai has a whole bunch of goddamn missile launchers and crap. And they are not piloted by a person. They are piloted by an AI engram of the original person, Shas'O Oblatai. Hence why they are Shas'O Oblatai 9-0.
Oh, so it's an AI of the person instead of like an actual person?
It is an AI recreation of the person.
Wow, that's some serious heresy right there.
Oh, that is fat heresy. The Imperium is maulding right now.
Yeah, they are indeed maulding, yes.
They are particularly good at using support fire because they are covered in missiles. If you can look at their picture, it's the second one down, or the third one from the bottom. Just missiles in the arms, missiles on the back.
Yeah, that is just all missiles.
The second to last is Commander Arakam. They are in a enforcer battle suit, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a good way to say big and chunky, and I think punchy.
All right, cool.
They are known for mounting a huge suite of anti-infantry weapons. And they basically just like burnt down entire formations. They seek out masses of enemy foot soldiers, and they are just basically kind of like try to mow them all down. They're a very analytical person, and they encourage the rest of the 8 to review and critique their past battles via like a holovid. Kind of like a team watching their prior fight.
Yeah. Gotta watch the footage. Gotta review the footage and see where you can be better.
it's my my mentality that Ericon is kind of like the nerd who's like everyone wants to go drink after a battle, and it's like, no, we need to check to make sure that we need to see if we're a little better. We need to look back at our videos. At Oblatai, you really need to step up your game and this, and like beep boop.
Yep, it's the annoying coach that wants you to spend too much time reviewing tape.
Last but not least, we have Sub Commander Torchstar.
Let's go! The mighty Torchstar, the best of the 8, am I right?
They are a defector from the Tau Empire as well, and they are the youngest of the group and the most impetuous, I think is the term. They carry around with two twin flamers and are known for having flame tattoos on their body. And
being ripped as fuck, right?
No, that is not canon, just the tattoo part.
Oh, well, I'm making it canon that
I know.
Torchstar is ripped as fuck.
I know. We'll eventually get the fucking poster.
Flaming
We'll
bikini,
get the poster made at some point.
Just sweltering abs. Yeah, let's go.
Sweltering.
Yeah, because they're so. It's just Torchstar, you know. She swelters you.
You could fucking make sushi on those abs.
Hell yeah, you could boil an egg on those abs. Fucking let's go. Omelet abs.
She is considered to be quite omelet abs. She's considered to be quite reckless, and she just kind of literally charges headfirst, headlong with double flamers and torches everything in the path. Hence the name Torchstar.
Let's go. What a badass.
And that's the 8. And they took them out of the new Tau Codex.
Yeah, that's such bullshit.
That is fucking ridiculous.
That is a hot load.
I'm assuming they're just like, well, you can just make them yourselves by taking that many commanders. But
it's lame.
It's lame as shit, because then they're just a regular built one. They have no fancy pantsy abilities. Like Gaunt's Ghosts, every character has an ability. Like everyone has their own thing. They're not great in the game, but they're so well made. And they could have done something like that, and they didn't, and it's cringe.
Is there any chance that they're going to add them with like a supplemental codex or something?
I don't know, but they could, and they might if people want that, and they like money. So if they do, then, well, we'll see.
So what you're saying is we need to tell everyone to pitch a shit fit on the internet about getting the 8 back in, so that GW will be like, hey, people really like these 8 and they want more of the 8, and then they'll add them back in and make new minis for them?
Probably not, but maybe.
Well, fuck it. As long as it's canon that Torchstar has sweltering abs, I'm in.
As long as it's canon, you say.
Yeah.
Well, I've got bad news for you, buddy.
In my head canon, it's all facts. These are true facts.
True.
Yep.
That's what facts are, is true.
That's what my dad used to say all the time. He's like, oh yeah, I did this, this, and that. True fact. And I was like, wait, what? Isn't that... You confuse me, Dad.
All right. You know, DK,
Yeah,
I think it's time for us to go get some maidens.
Oh yeah, definitely time to go outside and touch Grace. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'd rather just touch Grace inside.
Oh, well, I guess you could do that too. Can't get any maidens inside, though.
The internet says otherwise.
Well, that's true. Ronnie is,
Battlesuit Ronnie.
Battlesuit Ronnie, yep.
Fires
Star and Ronnie sitting in a tree.
Moons.
And they're both blue, too.
This is dumb.
Like, it's canon that Ronnie is a Tau.
This is dumb. God damn it! We're spending the whole what has my week been? I spent all the last week grinding up for the new Witch Queen fucking day 1 raid. Did the day 1 raid. Took 9 hours and couldn't get past the second boss. Fucked Caretaker. Literally didn't have the damage no matter what we tried. Couldn't get through there. See, immediately the day after, play Elden Ring, touch Grace. I'm living in a simulate. The fact that a major plot point of Elden Ring is to be touched by a woman is fucking shocking to me. Miyazaki is on the sauce. He is on the sauce.
And when you finally get Fia to hold you, she gives you a health debuff.
She does?
Yeah, she gives you a little bit of a health debuff until you, I think you have to use her blessing and then rest at a grace before you can get rid of the,
Is that what that red square is on my screen?
Yeah, the red square with the down arrow, that's from her.
Oh no, I didn't know that!
Yeah, that's from her, that's from Fia.
I remember her being called the deathbed companion, but I got touched anyway because I felt like it. She gave me the clap!
Yes, she did. She did. She stole your health. So
I knew I should never have trusted women.